this moment to be free. We only waiting for this moment to be free. Can you help me sing? David Island. Robert Hickman on vocals.
McFarlane and Jazz. I'm Al McFarlane. You're listening to Conversations with Al McFarlane. We're broadcasting today from the McKnight Theater at the Ordway in St. Paul. Special program. We're pleased to be here. We thank the Ordway staff for the invitation. And we're here to help call attention to and to explore the production that's going on starting tonight. It's The Color Purple. The formal name, Oprah Winfrey Presents The Color Purple, the musical about love. And it opens tonight here in St. Paul at the Ordway. It runs through the 29th. And I'm pleased to have people involved in that production on this program. You know, this is a big undertaking. Jennifer Sims, you're the press agent. You've been with the program since the tour began. How big a production is this, and how much work is involved in staging this and moving it from city to city?
The undertaking is enormous. We leave a city on Sunday night, trucks full of the set, the costumes, everything, and we literally are working until the curtain goes up 2 days later. We haven't scaled it back. It's pretty much exactly as you would have seen it on Broadway. Mm-hmm. About half of the cast is from the original Broadway production now, since that is now closed. So you're getting a New York experience right here.
How large a cast? How many people?
The cast has 30 people total, so it's a really huge ensemble undertaking. That includes some of the swings that cover all the roles. Mm-hmm. And we actually tour, the company itself, the tours, I think is 65 people.
How many markets, how many cities are you doing on this tour?
Oh gosh, I cannot answer that off the top of my head. The first full year we opened in Chicago, and we spent 6 months there, Oprah City, as you know, which a little senator from Chicago named Barack Obama came to see us at that time, which was pretty incredible. And then we went on to Los Angeles and San Francisco, and that was the first year. And then this year we've been touring all around the country. And we were just spent 5 weeks in Toronto. So we're trying to bring it to the masses.
Is the average engagement 2 to 4 to 5 weeks?
It depends on the market. Here we're here for 2 weeks. This city is a great Broadway town. It supports 2-week engagements. Some smaller cities we can only play one. some larger cities. I think we're going to Washington, D.C. for 5 weeks this summer, so it depends on the city.
Okay. And any stories, life-altering stories that you may have seen in cast members?
Well, they will all tell you that it has changed every one of their lives.
Any stories that stand out to you? Anything that comes to your mind? I know.
Well, I can go back to the very beginning when Oprah became a producer, and she came to one of the rehearsals in New York, and they hadn't told the cast that she'd come on board, and they were all just in their sweats, rehearsing day in, day out to get the show open. And she walked in, and of course, they were just jumping up and down, tears. They were just so impressed to meet her. And she told them, "This story changed my life," as you know, with her first movie role, and it is bound to change all of yours. And they all absolutely believe that it has. It's been a journey. I will say Felicia Fields, who is our Sophia. She's been with this show since the very first table read, and she has a funny story that she tells about how she became involved. She is a Chicago actress, always, and our director, Gary Griffin, is from Chicago. And they were doing a production of Carousel, and in her costume, she said, "You told Harpo to beat me?" She said, "I look like Oprah Winfrey in this outfit." And he says, "Well, if I ever do The Color Purple, I've got my Sophia." Sure enough, he calls her about a month later and says, "You are not going to believe what's happened to me." So she was Tony nominated for this role, and we're blessed to have her in this cast. And she says that the biggest transformation for her is when she goes to the stage door every night, and women that are there in tears saying, "I was abused in my relationship." And Sophia's character being so strong and standing up and saying, "Hell no," to that has been very life-changing.
And so how has this production changed your life? How does it impact Jennifer Sims?
I would say...
As a professional,
sure.
But as a human being?
As a professional, I would absolutely say that, musical theater can be fluffy. The jukebox musicals and not necessarily mean a whole lot. Sure, it's a good night out. But this story, to everyone involved, including myself, has just been so powerful and so meaningful. I've been working on it for 2 years, and yet it just gets stronger in my mind. The relationships I've made with the cast and the crew, I've never been closer to other people in that regard. And I think that, just as a professional, it means so much to everyone involved to be a part of this brilliant story.
And then personally, though, how does it change? Can you look and say, you know what, either this scene or this interaction or this activity reflects an experience of mine or gives me clarity or courage or conviction or whatever?
I think the overall theme for me is the sisterhood involved. I have a younger sister. We live coast to coast apart, and it's been able, to reflect back on your own life and look at what is important to you. And yes, all of our careers are important and things, but, it's called the musical of love. And it's just to take a step back and realize what's important in your life, are your family and your friends and the ties that bond us together.
When I go to plays and even movies or even read a book or even talk, I'm always looking for the magic moment. I'm looking for something that goes beyond what is apparent on the surface. And quite often, a good movie or a good book or a good conversation delivers that. Part of it is me having to be ready, but part of it is looking for that and hoping that the other part of the equation delivers. I'm Al McFarlane. You're listening to Conversations with Al McFarlane. We'll break from music one more time and come back and continue this conversation with Jennifer Sims, press agent for the Color Purple Tour, with James Rocco, the producing artistic director for the Ordway, and with my co-host here today, Robin Hickman, executive producer of Soul Touch Productions, whose community engagement work is helping bring this project to life here at the Ordway. We'll take a break.